Hope you guys are having a good evening. This is Steve from AltCoin Buzz coming at you with back-to-back videos. And you guys are out there kicking and screaming about some news right now about Korea. So there is some credible news out there, potentially credible, at least based on our research, as well as some of it being misconstrued by the mainstream media and passed on to create uncertainty and doubt. How much easier is it to get hype on bad news when people are already feeling down and out on their positions? So you're all looking for an excuse or an answer to find out what the hell's going on with the market. Well, let's take a look, guys, and let's show you what the mainstream media is reporting. So no news to you if you've sat here over the last few days. Every time you guys start to cry and ask Jeff what to do, we give you a hug and we tell you it's going to be okay and like rub some dirt on it, get back out there, walk it off, guys. There's nothing you could really do. So it's not like you're going to come out and quit the game, right? So CNBC, these guys here, they are reporting. We've got Sahili Roy Chowdhury reporting on CNBC 2 hours ago that Bitcoin fall as one of the world's biggest currency markets readies a bill to ban trading. Apparently I can't read headlines, and that's why I don't do the news. But here's what's going on. So South Korea's justice minister is trying to prepare a bill. So it's good to know that. It doesn't mean they're banning cryptocurrencies. It doesn't mean they've banned cryptocurrencies. I think it's just poor timing for this type of news to come out at the same time that CoinMarketCap had just removed the Korean exchanges, the Korean won exchanges, from their price index. That also created some panic. So what we're seeing is some panic, right? And some of it could be justified. You be the judge for yourself. But people saw that adjustment come in when the Korean won was excluded by CoinMarketCap, and people dropped their drawers. And we don't want you guys to bend over and take it up the shorts. We want you to pull them back up and get ready to run. So let's take a look at what's going on in South Korea, because if you're not aware and you've ever looked at the market, let's go back and take a look. Ripple was a fine example of something going wonky over there in Koreatown. So the markets, if you ever use that tab, you'll see the dollar values that these coins were trading at. And if you were to look at this the other day, you would have seen that the Koreans were paying dang near $1 more per Ripple than the US markets, Euro markets, you name it. And you had to sit there and go, I wonder why. So it wasn't just Ripple, it was Bitcoin. We're not getting on BitThumb. It was Bitcoin, it was everything, right? I mean, they'd have paid more for Tether if they could have paid more for it. I mean, that's how unreal it was on the Korean exchanges. And it's still crazy. So that led CoinMarketCap to make what could be perceived as an intelligent decision to exclude them, because their volumes were high. They were making up like 40% of the market volume. They were paying way too much, and the calculation was being used to take trading volume and coin values and all that and build a kind of rolling average of how they determined the trading price that was calculated against the circulating supply to create the market cap. And the Koreans could have been, that's a heck of a, just take a moment there to look at that's a heck of a ICO. Anyhow, kidding. Because I think that's really kind of untasteful for somebody to do, and I think that if they have to stoop to that level, it's probably hype. So didn't do any research on them. They just caught my eye because for reasons. But so these guys out here in Korea were paying way too much for coins. They're essentially inflating the market. And if you weren't paying attention to what you were purchasing, you were seeing like a Ripple selling at $3 and some change, and then you'd get on your exchange, get on Binance, start putting in with your BTC. And then you'd be like, oh, $2.90. Oh, dang, I'm getting a deal, man. And you load up. Some people just literally were doing that. But there's a reason they're overpaying, right? And I've speculated for a little while, and I don't want to throw out any accusations because I can't. There's no way that I could possibly do research on a one-to-one basis. I'm not a detective to go over there and actually dig up dirt and expose anything that's happening. But you have to wonder, with the way that things go in some parts of China, Macau in particular, and then other parts of Asia, where gambling is such a part of their culture, and then money laundering also is part of their, not really their culture, but part of their business. And it is unethical and it is illegal over there, but it doesn't it doesn't stop it from happening. It's pervasive. And it's been well known for a long time that money laundering for tax evasion and various other reasons, potentially hiding income from criminal activities, you can name any type of speculation. Same reason why the mafia and the mob, in the United States was caught for racketeering and all these other things. They couldn't catch them on actual crimes against people because nobody would confess, nobody would survive, or the witnesses just wouldn't live to tell in court. So they busted the U.S. mobsters that were during the times of Prohibition and also during the mafia years. They busted them on money laws. All right, so let's kind of put that in perspective. So they're justice ministers trying to prepare a bill to ban all cryptocurrency trading in the country, according to this. Now, what's actually happening is that the Koreans have raided some exchanges, and they're digging up paperwork, and they're trying to find out what's going on because they know that some people are doing some very massive tax evasions in those countries. The United States has actually addressed recently, as we're all aware, that there's tax implications that cryptocurrencies are excluded from like-kind exchanges, and that's not necessarily the same thing, but some people just like straight up are not paying their taxes. Some of the exchanges in the U.S. have even been subpoenaed by U.S. courts or the IRS to provide documentation of some of their biggest coin holders so that they could do research to verify whether or not U.S. people were actually reporting income and supposedly losses, but I'm sure there wasn't losses if the IRS was interested, because they wanted to go after the big fish, the whales, so to speak. Whales are mammals, not fish. Total disclaimer. But you get the point that people are circumventing the typical income laws and loopholes. And some of you guys are even going out of your way to ask us for advice on how to do that. And flat out, we can't give you that advice, man. It's, that's not smart. It's not, if it's not legal, it's not smart. And if it doesn't make sense, don't do it. That's a short-term mindset of which is going to get you in trouble. So try to do everything on the up and up, above board, and then why not be proud of your income? What do you have to fear of paying? I mean, taxes suck, but what do you have to fear of making a profit, right? So what they're looking at here is that they might be looking to shut down cryptocurrency exchanges in their country, and in particular, trying to target the ones that have been taking part in and facilitating illegal activities. So that's a key. And I think that some of that was left out of the essence of this article, because this article makes you think that they're just going to flat out ban all exchanges. And I haven't read this proposed bill, and that could be potentially the measure that they go to, because maybe Korea wants to put a moratorium on cryptocurrency exchanges. They can't really ban cryptocurrency itself, but at least the exchanges that are housed in Korea. And that might give them time to investigate and document and figure out what happens and bring it back potentially into the market. China may be doing that too, but and then maybe even be the Chinese money that's going through the Korean exchanges, as many people have speculated, because there seemed to be an awful lot of Korean won getting injected in right around the time that the Chinese yuan was no longer able to participate. So just take this with a grain of salt, but at the same time, stay abreast of what the heck is going on here, because this is potentially serious news. And this comes at a damaging time, right? So if we look at this and we just take this as a big assumption that it's going to happen just because there's a proposed bill, I mean, my gosh, think about the amount of times in the United States that a legislature or a justice person has tried to propose a bill. So we're looking at a bill proposal, not even something that's been passed by their governmental houses. And I don't actually know the Korean law system in terms of whether they're bicameral legislatures or parliament, whatever the case may be. But proposing a bill is one thing, and he's got to be serious. But getting it actually passed and implemented into either a law or some other type of stay is a whole nother thing. So, but you need to be aware of it, because not just for the FUD factor. We're not trying to do it to spread FUD. We're trying to do it to keep you guys informed. This is something you got to know about if you're going to participate in the market. But if you want to read through this is on CNBC. They are somewhat credible. They call them mainstream media. It's hard to say whether it's fake news, but the Korean exchanges have definitely drawn a lot of scrutiny. So they are there's just something going on, right? Like why would they be in there paying so much money? And supply and demand could be a factor, right? Maybe they just got so much dang money that there's only so much Bitcoin going around on their exchanges. But that's kind of a crazy excuse to think about. They probably were doubling down, buying things over and over and over from each other in order to obscure the trail of which money would be able to be traced, create enough layers that it's not worth somebody's time to be able to document it. And that would be sort of the essence of money laundering, right? Money laundering from what? I don't know if I can care, right? Like probably from lots of different things. Everything imaginable. Let's just say everything imaginable, right? Chances are if somebody doesn't want somebody to be able to find out how much money they're making, one, they're doing it to evade taxes, but sometimes you have to evade reporting it on taxes because if you don't have a legitimate legal source of income, then all of a sudden producing a massive amount of wealth out of nowhere becomes questionable. But if, let's say, you were somebody of marginal means and you had a massive windfall on the cryptocurrency exchange and then all of a sudden could report legitimate income from a cryptocurrency exchange, aka investment, then you could be able to spend that dollar, put it in your bank accounts with a little bit more safety, although you've actually just created that unlawfully. Money laundering, right? So be wise, guys. Keep your eyes and ears open. More reason to hit the bell for notifications from channels like us. Check us out on Twitter at AltCoinBuzzIO. Hit us up on Instagram or AltCoinBuzz there. We keep you guys, up to date. Now, just be prepared for anything to happen. Because we don't know, we can't predict the future, but we're going to ride it out together. Up or down, thick or thin, we're going to be out here broadcasting, connecting with you guys. If you're only in the market when it's fun, well, that sucks for you because there's going to be a lot of up and downs. And first and foremost, it's only been a couple days, right? Can you imagine people that were in the stock market that took their losses in like 2007 that had to wait until like practically this year or last year to be able to see their positions come back to their pre-loss status? We shouldn't even have to see anything like that because we still have the good graces of being at the early phases of pioneer adoption, right? So we might be even nearing that like tinkering phase. The exchanges are the U.S. exchanges at least, are gearing up for the mass herd that's been waiting, right? There's a lot of applications, a lot of people trying to apply to get into the exchanges to inject new cash in there. So if they do pass this law and exclude the Koreans from the cryptocurrency space, it will have an impact psychologically and financially on the cryptocurrency market. But it doesn't mean that those ranks won't be filled by U.S. and other investors coming in very steadily to pick up. So either way, got to ride it out one way or the other, right, guys? Anyways, this is Steve from AltCoin Buzz.